Hello, it is Sunday night again. Sorry, my app is playing up, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute, but I couldn't actually hit the button here from over there, and it's something I need to sort out. Anyway, hopefully we are all online. We're live. Sorry, the audio was started to come through on my tablet. Good evening, Big A. How are you doing? Hope you are well. Please do let me know if everything is behaving as it should, because with all of these things, live streaming tends to go a little bit sideways at times. But anyway, I think we're up and running. Good evening, Mark. Good evening, Big A. As I've already said, good evening, Rob. How are you doing, guys? Now, tonight, we are at the earlier time in the UK. Mark will appreciate that, for starters, being over here. It is 9 o'clock, because we are now into the long depths of winter, especially in Wales. It is extremely windy. It is extremely wet. I've spent the weekend doing a little bit of painting on the house, continuing to finish off the work. Good evening, Gary. How are you doing? I also woke up on Saturday morning to find all of the Celotex in my garden had blown with the wind up against the workshop door, including the garden bench that was sitting on top of it. It had managed to pick it up and throw that across the garden as well. So that gives you an idea of how windy it is here too. Good evening, Rebo. How are you doing? Good evening, Gary. Good evening, Phil. Winter has definitely arrived, Phil. 100%. 100% winter has definitely arrived. Now, I'm just checking that the comments and everything look good. Now, tonight, I got some things I want to cover. I'm going to talk a bit more about this RTX launch, because it is interesting to me, and I hope it's interesting to you guys as well. I'm not going to go on about it too much, but I am going to talk just to explain a few things about it, and we're going to have a look a little bit at the scalping as well that's going on. We're going to talk about the future of servos, and that is UAVCAN, and specifically the new UAVCAN servos from Hitec, which I have in my hands. 1 second, I just want to see. You please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough. Ooh, that's a weird message I'm getting on YouTube. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Current keyframes are not. Look at this. Let me show you guys this. Ooh, this is new. I have changed something tonight, and that's why I'm suddenly getting this. What's this mean? Encrypt got group picture sizes. Okay, hopefully it's not going to be anything that's going to give us any problems, but that's strange. Really, really weird. That's one for me to look at later on. I've gone down to 30 frames a second, so that shouldn't have made a change. Weird. I've gone down from 60 to 30 because I had some frame rate issues. I'm actually having some strange behavior, which I'm trying to understand. I'm struggling to figure out what is actually going on, and that is between the camera and the A10 Mini, because I'm telling the camera to output at 25 or 30 frames a second, but the output I'm getting out of the A10 is always 60 frames a second. And I don't understand why, because the A10 is meant to follow the resolution and frame rates of the camera on input 1 specifically, which we are using here. And I don't know why it's not working. The reason I don't use PAL 25 or 50 is because, actually, sorry, have I now changed it to PAL? I can't remember. The problem is the A10 doesn't fully support. The A10 supports it, but OBS doesn't, if I remember. OBS doesn't do PAL. So I'm getting some strange behavior between them all. Anyway, so we're going to take a look at the new UAVCAN servos. I'm also going to talk about some components which I've got in this box. Now, I've only got half of the order. The other half of the order should be here tomorrow or Monday on a new project I'm starting for the winter. I can record an OBS in 25. I need to have a look at this all again. The worst problem I'm having is figuring out what actual output I'm in. And then we're going to talk about the diabolical, the mess. And it's not dead yet. You know, we removed the chip, but she isn't dead yet. But I found out some new information about the Xbox afterwards. And then we're going to talk a little bit about my Ronin, because it's finally been shipped from DJI. I will have one in my hands by the middle of this week. Anyway, so let's get on with this video. Now, before I do, quickly, I just want to say, guys, if you've got any questions, please do put them in the comments of the video. I will answer them if I can. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the second channel. We have the main channel, which is Mads Tech Tips or Mads Tech. Please check it out. There's a link to it, I think, in the description of this one. And please do hit that subscribe button as well. Okay, so stop all auto updates. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. Okay, so just to talk quickly about this. This week was the launch of the RTX 3070. I've done a video on this, so I'm not going to bang on about this too much. If you're interested in this stuff, please do check out the video. It was almost impossible to get one. They're virtually unavailable everywhere. There's a lot of scalping going on, and I just wanted to show, actually, some of the levels of scalping that we're having. Now, if you don't know what scalping is, it's people buying the cards to sell on. That's the basics of this. Now, the RTX 3070 in the UK costs £469, $499. Now, my reason for upgrading is twofold. Number one, I want an 8GB card minimum. Now, I'm actually thinking of that's not going to be enough based on where the future is heading, so I'm going to hold back a little bit. But secondly, I wanted to go with its great value right now, let's just say. 2080 Ti-like performance for $499, £469. Now, the interesting thing with this is, if you see, it's meant to be £469. The amount of these that are on eBay right now being sold for higher money is surprising. Not surprising, but it's frustrating, let's just say. You know, there's this card, I've searched for the 3070. You've got 3 Founders Edition cards here, all going for £600 roughly, with bids. You know, they've all got bids. That's a 470 quid card, 620, 680, 600. There's one company here asking 900, or one person asking £945 for that card, and that is one of the cheaper cards. That card, I think, is £520. It's meant to be. Who is that? Someone trying to get 920 quid, 600 quid with 11 bids. So there's clearly a lot of people wanting this card, and there's a lot of people wanting to spend substantial amounts of money. That's in the UK. If I shift over to the US, things are very similar. $499 in the US, $790 there with 11 bids. No bids on $799, $1,200, $847 with 31 bids. Some people are asking this. It is crazy. It is crazy how much people are willing to pay for these cards. It's all very well wanting to upgrade, but not at any cost. And the crazy thing about this is the 3070 card, which is on par with the 2080 Ti. You can now get a brand new 2080 Ti for around that £700, £800. So if you were going to overpay, you may as well go and get yourself the 2080 Ti rather than the 3070 right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, what is very crazy, though, is some of the scalping prices on the 3080 in the US especially. Now, I've had a quick look at this already. I can't remember, actually, how much is the 3080 meant to be in the US? Can't remember. RTX 3080 Founders. Oh, God. Nvidia Store USA. I can't remember how much they were. It was only going to be available at Best Buy now, if I remember, or Micro Center, or one of them. I can't remember quite which one it was, but it was only going to be available at one of them. Shop for all. What's the price? That's the UK. I don't want to be UK. I want to be USA. Can't remember. 3080 US pricing. I can't remember what it was. Not you. 3080 US pricing. $699. Starts at $699. I believe. Is that right? Tech Radar. I'm just trying to see, just make sure I get this right. Accept the cookies. Go away, go away, go away. That's the UK pricing. I don't want UK. Newegg, here we go. Yeah, $699 for the Founders Edition. And if you look down this list, right, some of this pricing is frankly astonishing. Someone there. Now, there's no way that's going through. You cannot tell me that is going to go through. Someone is bidding $3,150. $1,300 again for a $600-700 card. $1,175. Now today's a good day to look at some of these cards because it's been over the weekend and a lot of people have had these. But it is insane how much money some people are willing to pay. You know, the term is don't feed the scalpers. You know, these are the guys that are buying them to sell on. But it just shows how much some people are willing to spend just to have the latest tech. Just to have that. I tell you what I haven't looked at. I probably should. Should we just have a look? What are people asking for the 3090? Oh, Jesus. I say, oh, Jesus. It's not cheap anyway. $2,000. It's not much less than that anyway. 1,922. So someone's bid 2.2. 2.1. Yeah, they're not as crazy, interestingly, as the pricing on the 3080. The 3080 pricing is insane. You know, 3,150. There's no way someone's going to pay that, really, surely. But anyway, so it is what it is. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to wait for the Nvidia launch now. For me, I'm going to hold back because there's a feeling in the last couple of days that even 8 gig might not be enough. Now, the reason I need an 8 gig card is mostly for video editing. That is the biggest reason. There are some get-arounds on this for Resolve users. If you downgrade, you don't get problems. But on the current version of Resolve, it really wants 8 gig cards, minimum. But that is minimum. So I'm even wondering if 8 could be a bad investment right now. So I'm going to hold back and see where all of this ends up. But yeah, that's the first thing I just wanted to mention and out of the way. If you've got any questions on that, guys, please do let me know in the comments. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was Skydio, and we'll come on to that in a second, because I've seen some interesting posts today, and I'm going to have to refer to my phone because I haven't lined up the posts on the computer. But yeah, it's crazy to see how much money people are willing to spend, and it's interesting. We've seen similar with drone releases before as well. We've seen people willing to overpay, but not so much recently. Now, as I've said, the next thing I wanted to talk about was Skydio, and this is something I spotted online. And just to bring it up, if you want to know what we're talking about, we are talking about the S2, which has been out for over a year now. You know, we have the option of buying it, but it is buying it I'm talking about. And I've seen a number of posts this week about the S2, about people finally getting their orders. And the reality is actually beginning to hit in at just how long some of these orders are taking. Now, I've been watching the S2 quite closely. I'm a massive fan of what Skydio are doing. I'm a big fan. I have been quite critical about what they're doing recently, purely because of the lack of where we seem to be getting and the lack of it coming to Europe and things like that. But there's been a number of posts this week of people getting their shipments, and they've finally been getting them delivered. But what shocked me was just how long they've waited. So much so, one user, let me just get this right, he ordered it on the 16th of November 2019, and his shipment turned up on Thursday last week. Now, he wasn't alone. There was one or two others. There were people who ordered after that, not much after that, in 2019, who are still waiting on their orders to ship. A couple of guys actually said they're cancelling. They've waited almost a year for a drone, and it hasn't been able to turn up yet or arrive. So whilst I've sort of been looking around and not seeing much chatter on the S2, I think the reality is many people are still waiting to get their hands on this thing. You know, you got guys here who ordered nearly 12 months ago, and they're still not able to get their hands on it. Now, I have been told that if you go on the website and order, that it gives you an estimated date. Let's just go and have a look. I've not seen this yet, because someone said to me, no, it's not that long. You can get it much sooner than that. But I'm not so sure that is the case, because it's clear that sorry, let's get that on the screen. It's clear to me that these guys are taking, it's taking a long time to get these aircraft, an awful long time. So if we say starting price $999, starter kit, yes, go away, go away. Okay, so one per customer. So you're limited to one kit per customer. So you can reserve now. So say we wanted the sports kit, which is the reasonable kit you go for. Actually, no, it's not the sports kit. It's got to be the cinema kit, because you need the remote controller. See, if you look at the pricing on this, right, to get the model with the remote, you still need to spend a fair bit of money. It's not as simple as 12, 13, 14, 15 quid. Okay, with that, you're getting 3 batteries, a hard case and stuff. But okay, let's just say we're going to go for the basic kit. I just want a Skydio 2. Which I'm going to fly it off my phone. Does it actually give us an estimate? Okay, so here we go. This refundable $100 deposit will reserve a place in line for the Skydio production batch 5, which is expected to start shipping in December 2020. Now, these are people on forum. These are on Facebook. These are genuine posts on Facebook. People picturing, I've just received my Skydio 2 and they've waited 12 months. Yet this here is saying you'll get it by December 2020. So someone is lying here, or being extremely suggestive with the truth, let's just say. And I'm not expecting these users to be lying based on them posting pictures, based on them, happy to have received their drone, yet they've waited 12 months. And now Skydio is saying they're going to ship in December 2020. So either in 1 month they're going to catch up on all pre-orders and get back on top, or this expected thing is being used to drive things a bit differently. It's quite interesting, isn't it? But yeah, expected December. I'm really not sure about this, and I do think there's some not so legit things going on here. Let me just see if I can bring up the post, because it's on the Skydio. There's a Skydio forum. I'm not sure if I'm on it with my Skydio. I'm not a member of it on this one. Let me just find it. I'm not on the right account, unfortunately. But yeah, so I really don't know what to make of this with Skydio. They're clearly shipping. They're clearly getting products out. But, that website is saying today, if you ordered, you get it in December 2020. That really is not the case. Let me just find this on my phone, and I will share it with you guys then, so you guys can see it. And I don't like to get on their backs, but there's something untoward here, or something. Is one post I'm reading here. I'll share it with you guys. After a full year of waiting, he's received his drone and his kit. Anyone recently received their Skydio 2? Got mine today, waited a year. Got mine as well, ordered on the 11th of the 11th, 19. This is posts this week. I haven't got this set up so I can share on there. That's wrong, isn't it? Great looking. That's it. That's what we can do. There you go, guys. This is on the Skydio Drone Owners Network. I need to do this properly for next week, don't I? So anyone recently received the Skydio 2? Get the light off the screen there. Got mine as well. Ordered, email. Got the email, is paid on the 16th of October, repaid. Ordered mine on the 11th of the 11th. Ordered mine on the 16th 11th, it'll be tomorrow. So it's looking like an 11 to 12 month wait right now. Ordered on the 15th of November, paid on the 26th of October. Ordered mine on the 10th of November. Ordered mine on the 10th of the 11th, 20. That's got to be the 10th of the 11th, 19, because we haven't reached that date yet. Almost a year, yeah, so he's got the date wrong on that. Ordered mine 11 months ago, arrived a month ago. So, look, you know, it is clear these are taking a very long time. People looking for controllers. Just scrolling down. There was another post here. This gentleman here, after a full year of waiting. You know, it is crazy. So, something untoward is going on here. That is for sure. This was also quite a good poll. I liked this. And it tells us two things. This is the largest... Just put myself up in the corner. This is the largest Skydio group on Facebook, I think, this one. Let me just look at the listings. 2,500 members. Okay, so this is the largest Facebook group for Skydio owners on Facebook, as far as I can see. It's not the official one. There's no official one. And then there's a Skydio 2 owners support, which is 1,600. So they've got 2,500 members. Of those 2,500 members, 35 of them responded to a poll asking what they thought of their drone. And of them, you know, 30 voted B, good drone. They wish they had some feature improvements, but overall satisfied. 5 out of the 30 was best thing since sliced bread, and then no one voted for the other items. It was just that, you know. But yeah, you know, very interesting indeed. There's clearly something going on here, and I am going to do a dedicated video on this because the website is saying one thing, the users are saying something completely different, and it's not one post. It's literally every other post on there. But it's also interesting that 2,500 members on the size of the group. You know, do we think even 10% of that group has the drone? Would you like to, you know, is that a reasonable number? My bets are that's probably exaggerating things. You know, even if it's that, you know, 2,500, even if it's 2,000 members, there'll be a bunch of us like myself who are in there who aren't actually members, or I can't get hold of it yet. But it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting indeed. And it spells a very different story. What do you guys think? You guys tell me what you think about it, because to me it's all a bit sus. It really is. Will I get a drink? Gary has said Drone 101, and I know exactly what he means by that. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Renders. We're going to sell something which isn't available yet. It almost hurts me to beat up on them about this a little bit, because I am a massive fan. I am a huge fan of the product. But there's something not right here. There really is. Just going back up the comments. Hot Point Hoodlum, what's up from Oregon? Good evening, my friend. Welcome. I thought Tesla from Skydio was a very spammy per effort. Yeah, Mark, with COVID, could that be causing delays? I think we would all accept COVID would have caused some delays initially. I think that's a very reasonable position to accept. I think that's 100% a legitimate thing. But I think by now we would have expected things to have at least been moving a bit more. Only 35 comments on that poll as well of 2,500 people. 2,500 people, 35 people have commented. It's not much, is it? Banggood, I can order from Banggood, so it takes even longer to get in. No, sadly, you can't. It's US only at the moment. I do believe it is made in the US. It is manufactured in the US of A, mostly. On their blog, they're blaming COVID. Yeah, I accept COVID is a major issue for everyone. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Is it fair? I think, you know, 12 months is an awful long time. And don't get me wrong, right? This whole Nvidia thing, there is a very real possibility that you're not going to get an RTX 3070 or 3080 for the next 6 months. So it isn't unique to Skydio. But you know, what is a little bit interesting is the website is saying December, yet people are receiving their drones 12 months later. But we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see where it goes. Assembled in the USA, Gary says it is. But remember that term, assembled. How much of it is manufactured outside the USA? Just going to check out this damn message on YouTube, which means I'm going to have to change something on OBS. Just see what it's whinging at. OBS. Currently, the keyframe frequency is 7.9 seconds. Note in just hours can go up. Live streaming error messages. How to change keyframe intervals in OBS. Here we go. Settings. So what have I got? Keyframe intervals. Keyframe interval seconds. So YouTube is asking, while I just check this a second. Frequency of 4 seconds or less. Let me just check what I've got. That's interesting. It's on auto. I've just changed that on the fly, and let's hope nothing falls over. Let's see what happens. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Okay, so yeah, that's it with Skydio basically. Is what it is. We're gonna have to see where this ends up. Now, again, guys, any questions on that? Please do let me know before I move on to the next subject. The chat is quiet tonight. Is everyone relaxing? How is everyone? What's going on where you are? Just waiting on before I move on. Trying to get a bit slower tonight rather than my normal ranting rant. Unless it's not working. Is it working? Am I still here? Am I still going out? I think so. How does it look? Family haircuts in the backyard. That's the way to do it. We had to do it in the living room because it was too windy. Okay then. Right. What have I lined up next? You're live. Unfortunately, he says. Do you know where Bruce is tonight? We might be a bit early for him. We might have caught him out. He's probably still sleeping. Okay, so. Okay. Let me just open this link. Rub my eye. Make sure I got the live chat up. It must have been when he's taken most of my hair. Yes, it has. I need to sort out this mic thing. If you notice, I haven't actually... So frustrating. I set all this new mic gear up and everything. And I just threw it all in. And like me, everything I do is half-hearted most of the time like this. And it's left here. I still need to sort all of this out properly. The amp is still wedged on a shelf when I put it up there. The arm is just in place. It works well, but I need to get it all sorted. I really do. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about are these. Now, these, in this box, I have one here. See the wire? I'll show you properly in a minute. Are the new CAN-based, UAV CAN-based servos from Hitec Technology. Now, if you've seen the Cube Pilot poster, and let me bring that up because I should have had that up actually for this. docs.qpilot.org, just to show you guys. So docs.qpilot.org. We scroll down. Oh, what are they also? They've got product media cloud drive. Oh, look at this. I haven't been on here for a week or two. Ooh, someone's been busy. Look at this. They put all the pictures up. Look at that. Something's new. Anyway, where is it? Remote ID. Printable 3D stand. Where's the picture? Product media cloud drive. Where's the poster? The poster's missing. Let's have a look what's in. Is the poster been moved into this? Promotional video, product photo. Is the poster under here? Oh no, it's all the it's all the product stuff. Oh, he's put all of that up there now. Very good, Philip. Very good indeed. It's what happens when I don't have a look. Right, it'll be under the cube. Autopilot. The poster should be on you somewhere. Oh, where is it? They've lost the poster. Let me do it manually. This one. If you noticed on this, and this is a low quality version. Where's the big one, Philip? Thank you. Here it is. Here's the big one. Just waiting for it to come up. I do have... Right, I need to be very careful what I say here. Yeah, I do have... I need a red light. I need a red light. Roxanne! Okay, so, if we look at the poster, you can see here, on this one, is Hitec servos, and these are CAN-based servos, and these are not using normal PWM. These are CAN-based nodes built into them that allow them to be used with CAN ports on the autopilot. Now, the benefit to using CAN-based servos is, A, you're not having to use individual PWM ports, but they are fully digital servos with a massive, massive range of options and capabilities. I am astonished at all of the little features in these servos. It is crazy. But the idea is that you run them off CAN rather than PWM. Now, Hitec are one of the main companies who are distributing these so far. They're through their Hitec Commercial Solutions department. And they've got a range of them, which is their MD series. And the ones I've got here are the MD70s. But the MD60s, there's a picture of it there. We'll take a look at it actually in person in a second. But, you know, they haven't got an image on the MD70 yet. But it's high-resolution, 32-bit programmable, CAN bus, 2.0 A or B, UAVCAN, RS485, PWM and TLL, magnetic encoders, 8.8 to 7.4, heavy-duty life motors, high-quality servo, to say the least. Now, the big news with these is obviously the fact that they're CAN bus, and that is the big thing here. So this is where things get a little bit interesting. Now, to take that off, we do have one. We have a few of them. I have 3 of them. Now, there is going to be a dedicated video on these coming up where I walk you through it. But, you know, this is the servo itself, just to show you. You know, it's a normal... It looks like a normal servo. You can see on the front, we've got the UAVCAN logo. You've then got the model number, which is the MD70MH CAN. You've then just got a little sticker there for the manufacturer. Obviously, they are traditional servos. And then you've got the CAN bus connection. Now, obviously this is a little different than what we're used to seeing. It's not a 3-wire PWM. It's ground plus voltage, can high and can low, or can low and can high, as it should be. Green is can high. Now, these servos are fully programmable, and you actually have to program them with a dedicated programming adapter. Now, Hitec make one of these. It's called the DPC-CAN, and it is a dedicated adapter. It's really hard to show you the logo on it because it's this gold reflective. And it allows you to program it via micro USB. You plug it into your computer, and it allows you to actually control the servo, adjust all of the wiring options, whether you want to use it by CAN bus, UAVCAN, and all of that. And it allows you to set a huge amount of things. Now, tonight, I can't actually plug these in to show you because I'm waiting on the software for this adapter. I've actually got the software. I don't have the code. They issue the code with the software. It's in a locked zip file, so I can't actually unlock it yet. So I'm waiting for the passcode for that, and then that will allow me to program the adapter and then change the settings to allow it to work with UAVCAN, because out the door it doesn't appear to be set for UAVCAN on day one because it supports all of those protocols. It has to be fully configured, and there is a huge amount of configuration available on this, a huge amount. Now, the benefits of UAVCAN is, number one, is you're using one bus. At the same time, no, they forgot to send me the code, Bruce. The benefit is it's one bus, so you can plug all of the CAN servos onto a bus. They all have their own node ID, and you can control them individually. So rather than actually having, all your wires out your PWM ports, you will then have one connector out, and you can actually use something like this, which is the I2C CAN board. You get this with the Cube and the CUAV. This is the CUAV one, and it's the same connector as I2C on those boards, and it allows you just to plug them in with multiples. Now, I've had to make up an adapter cable because obviously this is not that, and this, reaching over a second, where's it gone? Oh, it's over here. This is not the CAN port on this either. So there is a bit of adjustment required, let's say, to get these compatible at the moment, whether you replace the connector on the end, or you make up a cable, or you make up a board. It's not a great change. I may actually make a board for these and put it out there, because I haven't seen anyone else do it yet, and I might make a board available for this. It's not a great job. It only needs to be one like this to allow the nodes to work, so that is about the only downside right now, is that it isn't the same connector to be used, but it's that benefit of not having everything in the PWM ports. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone. At the end of the day, PWM works very well for everyone right now. But the benefits of CAN bus is the amount of devices that you can use on the nodes, the amount of items you can split it between. It is early days. There are some limitations, and I fully don't get them myself yet. I haven't fully looked. I've seen the comments on it, but I haven't delved into the paperwork to fully understand how many devices you should have on each CAN port. If we think about automotive, CAN has become like the #1 standard on board. It was very much taken because it is a node-based system, and normally in most cars you have 2 or 3 or 4 different CAN networks. You have like an AV CAN network for the audio-visual equipment and the onboard infotainment systems. You then have a CAN bus for the instruments and all of that lot, and then you have a dedicated CAN bus for the critical components as well, brakes, things like that, computers. So there can usually be more than one CAN bus on board a vehicle, for instance, and an aircraft and everything. But it is going to be the way the future is going. And whilst it may not replace PWM overnight, it is going to be the way things move as time goes on. Now, just checking up on the comments, unless they cost $2 and weigh less than 9 grams, I'm not interested. You know what, Bruce? I don't actually know how much these cost. Just to be clear, the Hitec have sent me these to have a look at. I asked them to. I approached them because I was very interested in checking them out. They've probably got to go back, actually, when I finish. I haven't got that far. It's not about keeping them. I just wanted to be able to talk about them. The big players, Volts are the big players for UAS servos. Mark, Hitechs are stunners. They're very nice servos. There's a lot of options on these as well. I bet you didn't need a special. First one I had with 5 wire ones, so we're almost full loop. We're nearly there, Bruce. No, the code wasn't provided. I'm not sure they knew I'd need the code because the zip file was locked. Just like S-Bus servos. Yeah, in many ways. And okay, from a technology point of view, can we argue that an S-Bus servo might be better or easier in the short term? I don't know. But the theory with CAN is it's almost unlimited. That's the theory, and I'm not pushing hard enough on the connector. I think however hard I push, Bruce, I don't think it's going to fit. But yeah, so that is where we're at now. There's going to be a dedicated video on these at some point in the next couple of weeks. It's one I'm going to put a lot of time into. I've already had a good look at ArduPilot. If you guys haven't seen, let me just check. ArduPilot Scan Servo. There's some info on it at the moment. Not a massive amount, but there is some info out there on it at the moment on Canvas. I'm just trying to find what page it's under. ArduPilot UAVCAN. It does support it, UAVCAN. And you have got to configure it slightly differently. UAVCAN setup. Let's just have a look. Here we go. So if I put that up, you guys can... Oh, sorry. Wrong button. You guys can see that you've got UAVCAN servo settings. So you've got the options of, we've already got GPS and mags and LEDs. We've got the power module with CUAV that's available now as well. And then you've got now support for safety switch via CAN and adapter nodes as well. I think it's the MRO make the adapter nodes, which basically allow you to plug in either I2C, serial, UART devices into CAN bus. So you have a node on your aircraft and you plug all your traditional sensors into that node. And then you've got the special configuration for it. So you've got which node of the autopilot. You've got the node ID of the autopilot. And then you've got the enable of ES sending ESC commands or the enable of sending servo commands in ArduPilot. And then you can select which servo you want to send. Servo 1, Servo 2, Servo 3, etc. If I grab a cable, I can actually show you that in ArduPilot. Bruce, yes. Just stick to S-Bus, lol. Yeah, I think it is very early days, okay? Let's not think it isn't. And these are commercial grade servos. These are certainly not domestic, these models. Let's just get Mission Planner open. See if it crashes on me. It's been playing up on this laptop. Let's connect. Just wait for it to... S-Bus is nice because you've got that you've got that simple way of doing it, but S-Bus doesn't have the same capabilities as CAN. Just waiting for the cube to finally connect. The blacks are slow now compared to like the oranges and stuff. So if we go into config for param list and under ArduPilot, if we search for CAN, you can then come down here and see where is it? Serial. This one here. So it's the can_D1_UC Serv BM, because you've always got to love the way they do prams on Ardra. And what we've then got is the option to turn on the servos, the bit mask for which servo you want turned on. So set for which channel to be transmitted as a servo command over UAVCAN. Now, I haven't fully set this up yet. I haven't played with it in depth. So my understanding is still a little bit light on this. And because it's a bit for which set, what channel. And the question in my head right now is that servo channel. We would assume it's servo channel. But how then do I map an RC output to that servo channel and things like that? I just want to get all of that sorted. And, you know, there's a few little things I just want to check in my head. But that is the overview on that. But they are out there. They are available. They're very nice servos. I do not know what they cost, if I'm honest, at this moment in time. I don't even know if these are available to the general public at this time. No, I didn't copy it. So if we go MD70HM, MD70HM, I don't even know if you can buy these. No, you can't. You can't even buy them right now. So yeah, price-wise, these are very new. I know. When I spoke to them about it, they were brilliant, absolutely fantastic to deal with, I have to say. Hitec. I approached them and said, look, I'd really be interested in talking about these on the channel. Any chance I can borrow some to try? And they were absolutely fantastic. They really were. So they very kindly got them to me in a very small amount of time. So over the next week or two, we're going to be taking a look at them. What do you guys think? I'd be intrigued to know. So I've lost my comments. Let me just find them. There we go. Let's just have a look. Catching back up on the comments. Just like S-Burst, not pushing hard enough. Just stick to S-Burst. These will be required for certification. Yeah, I suspect they will. I suspect they will. That color-based statement got the video demonetized straight away. Can't get this video demonetized. It's not monetized, unfortunately. But yeah, so very interested. A lot to play with. Yeah, I don't know if there's support in PX4 as of yet. Yeah, you know, this is from their commercial division as well. So, you know, these are pretty high-grade pieces of kit. They feel outstanding. They really do. You know, it's endless rotation. And the settings available on them is huge. Let me just... Can I bring it up? I'll just show... I can't bring the software because I can't get into it. Let me just... Oh, no, God, I can't get into that. I can't show you this. I have a manual for them and the screen with the set. Oh, I know where I can show you. I'll tell you where I saw it because it's on Ardra. There's a picture of the software on Ardra. Because there's a blog post on this on Ardra. Someone's done some time ago. It's not a recent one. It was done in February. And there's not a lot of info on there, but he's using some of the commercial grade ones on there. And he's got a picture of the software, and this is one of... Now, the software I've got, I believe, has a lot more options than this. But you've got a lot of options within it. You've got the CAN node details, which is this screen here. You've got the servo ID. You've got all sorts on it. And there's a lot of other stuff he was playing with as well. So, yeah, quite a lot on this. What's my computer whinging out? Virus protection have been updated. You know, and you've got all of the stuff under the PIDs and the status and the parameters all up there as well. So there's quite a lot to see on this, quite a lot to see indeed. And there's a good blog post if you're interested. Now, he used those ones there, which I don't know, which I decided on the, I don't know how much these are. How much are those ones? Because they're all metal geared. I don't know how much these are. Let's just have a look. I think if you have to ask, you might not be able to afford it. Yeah, some pretty, again, no pricing anyway. So yeah, pretty expensive bits of kit. It's going to be interesting to see. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get on. You know, obviously it's part of this whole ecosystem of CAN. You know, I've lost. I go over. You know, one of the big things on the poster from Philip was how much stuff. You know, the Here Pro is in testing right now. People can actually buy that if they want to, but it is a beta unit, to be clear. Let me just discussed on the QPilot forum. I'm actually a moderator on the QPilot forum as well. I do help out on there. Let me just find. I haven't been on for a few days. Here Pro. Where is it? Here Pro. Here GPS. There was a dead. Oh, there it is. Alpha test application. So there's the option to actually order the Here Pro on an alpha test now. You guys can get it, but you're on your own. It's one of the alpha boards. It's $700 and it's an alpha unit. There is no warranty. There is no comeback if there's a problem. They do not. To make it clear, these are alpha units. They are not a finished product. They arrive to you in the condition that is different to the final version. There may be limits in functionality. There may be issues that cannot be resolved, leading to them not being fully functional. There is no warranty. There is no guarantee of ongoing support. Do not buy this if you don't understand the risk. Do not buy this if you're not willing to be part of a product pre-release. You know, this is an extremely expensive GPS module on this device. That's why it's 700 quid. You know, but to be fair to them, they're fantastic at making sure, look, it's as clear as it comes in that statement. You know, this may not work properly, but if you want to try it, it's now available. But the poster really goes over all of the CAN Plus, you know, the benefits of the CAN devices. See, let me just bring it down so I can open it properly and zoom in a bit more. You know, one of the big things on this to take into account is when you're using CAN, you do need to make sure as well that there's enough power. And if you do go in and look on the poster, they're using step-down converters everywhere. There are voltage regulators added, additional, the Mac ones, fantastic, from Christian Mac, and they're in the power lines. Now, this board, I haven't actually seen it, but it's basically the I2C board. It's the new I2C board, basically, but it's just soldered on for power. That's all it is. So if you are using CAN Bus, you do need to make sure that you do have enough power, basically. Okay. Get that off. Let me get myself back to where I should be and catch up on the comments. Hitec have been fairly gimmicky over the years. Kryptonite, fragmentality, same goes. Yeah, you know, CAN is where things are headed. It might not be 1 week, it might not be 1 year, it might not be 5 years. In the end, CAN is probably going to be where everything settles. It's much better than I2C for sensors, 10 times better than I2C. It's been painful to set up. You know, if I look at the last 12 months, I've been testing some of this CAN stuff from day one. You know, I was very lucky to get hold of the early CAN Bus GPS units, and it was painful. For the most part, GPS, Compass, and Barrow is easy now. The software just works with it. So the next line of devices is servos, other sensors as well. We'll see them improve too as the time goes on. Now, I meant to put a tweet out on Twitter at the start, but I completely forgot to do it. So there is going to be a dedicated video on them, and I will put out a probably going to be 2 videos. There's going to be an overview, and then there's going to be a how to set these up, because that one's probably going to be longer. And I'll go through that. There'll be 2 videos on these. The second one's going to take a bit of time. It really is. The next 2 months are going to be very busy for me, and not unfortunately. It's good in some ways, it's bad in others. Many things are coming together at the same time. It's been a bit of a quiet spell for me on the channel from a product point of view. If you talk to Bruce or listen to Bruce, I'm just bringing my chair in a bit. He's had a lot, actually. A lot of companies contacting, and I've been quite the opposite. Things have been very quiet for me. I've pretty much caught up on all of the stuff I wanted to do, which is good timing, all of this stuff coming in, because I have been behind on things. The differential probe video is going up Tuesday. That'll be on the channel Tuesday. I'm overall reasonably happy with it, and I'm looking at that from a repairing a power supply point of view, not some of the other things. Revo. But we've got the high-tech stuff, so there's going to be at least 2 videos on that. This isn't about putting them into a wing. I'm not going to be doing anything like that. This is about how you use them. The plan is to go on ArduPilot. I haven't looked at PX4 yet. I will look at PX4 as well. I will do both systems. I have no specific reason to only support ArduPilot in making content. The most of it will always be ArduPilot, but I do want to make sure I cover the bases for the users as well. So we've got the high-tech servo videos. There might be some gear coming from Banggood. They've reached out to me again, so I need to talk to them again. My Ronins have shipped. They will be here Tuesday. That is the RS2 and the RSC2. I have ordered both at a substantial cost to myself. These have not been sent to me by DJI. These have not been loaned. These have been ordered. And I will I won't be keeping both. That's for sure. The plan is the RSC2 will be sold. It will be opened. I will do an overview video, a review video, and then I will be selling it as open box. That will be coming in and going back out. My intention is to keep the RS2 to replace my Ronin SC, and there's one big reason I want the RS2, and I could keep the RSC2 for the same reason, but and sell the RS2. But I want the Raven Eye, although I've just thought of a massive problem with it that I've not had just now, till now. That's a point. How am I going to do that? There's a problem everyone's coming up against. Oh, bugger. I might be changing my plans. Something's just hit me in the head and I've thought about it. Yes, Robert. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. I might be reevaluating my plans. Something's just hit me. But anyway, the RS2 and the RSC2 will be here this week. There will be 3 videos on this product. There will be a video on the RS2, comparing it to the Ronin S. There will be a video on the RSC2, comparing it to the Ronin SC. And then there will be a dedicated video on Raven Eye, the image transmission system. And that one will probably be the first video out, because there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about on that. There really is. So they're coming in the middle of the week. And then I've got the Rover video, which will be coming up shortly. And then there is this, which I'll talk about in a minute. Robert, whatever happened with that cam power module you got a while ago with that one flight controller? Did I ever figure it out? Yes, I did. The video on that is now up on the channel. If you haven't seen it, it's the CUAV Nora video. I had it plugged into the wrong port. On the autopilot, it says CAN A and CAN C. Now, the annoyance on this is there's a number of CAN ports, and this is actually what gets me on this. You've got me on a rant now, but I will show you. Let me bring it up because you are right. You've clicked on something that is, I can't quite get my head around. I'll bring the Nora up. The Nora is a great controller. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the Nora. I like it a lot. Metal housing, feels high quality, no issues at all. I can see. Okay. However, this is where I'm beginning to get my struggle with why we want CAN-based power modules. I just need that autopilot again. I just had in my hand. Let me just find it. What do I do with the cube? Where is it gone? Oh, it's down here. Okay, so very carefully move them to the side and the adapter. Okay, cube. Same as pretty much all of the Pixhawks. You know, connections change. One of the DF17s now, whatever it is. Oh no, JST. Sorry, GHJSTs. But what we have is, ignore that because that is what Loctite will do to paint and stuff. It'll melt it. Okay, power 1 and power 2 ports, dedicated power ports. So power 1, power 2, completely independent from anything else. They're not serial ports. There's no serial communication. It's voltage in and it's voltage read. That is it. That's what these ports do. 5 volt in, voltage for current reading, voltage for voltage reading. That is it. Dedicated ports 1 and 2. We then have CAN bus ports. CAN 1, yes, it's labelled CAN 2, but it's actually CAN 1. And CAN 1, which is actually CAN 2. This is one of the very early cubes, and they're labelled the wrong way around on this carrier board. So on this, we have our dedicated CAN ports, our dedicated power ports. These power ports cannot be used for anything else. They can only be used for power. They're not serial ports. They're not taking up any valuable space. You know, if we look at GPS, when GPS was using GPS 1 port and you wanted to use 2 GPSs, you'd use in those two. Well, they are both UARTs. GPS is using UART. So whilst we had TELEM1 and TELEM2, GPS 2 is also a telemetry port and GPS 1 is also a telemetry port. And they can be repurposed. So you could get a benefit from moving over to CAN because A, you get away from that damn I2C compass, which is a pain in the bum, and it always doesn't necessarily behave very well because it's a horrible connection to use on external devices. You could move the GPS over to CAN 1 and 2, and then you would have 4 free UART ports to be able to use. Serial 1, Serial 2, Serial 3, and Serial 4, or Serial 4, Serial 3, Serial 4. That was a benefit, and there's also a Serial 5 in this one as well, which you can't get to. But the benefit was you could use all of those ports. But with power, there's nothing you can recover. It's a dedicated port. Sticking with that, going over to the Nora, right? Okay, so what we have on this, we have CAN ports. So if we look here, we've got CAN 1 and CAN 2, just like on the Cube, standard CAN ports. We've got our GPS, TELEM ports, all of the usual. On this side, you've got UARTs, UART3, RSSI. And then, on this side here, you've got Power C and Power A and CAN 1, right? Now, what CAN is that CAN? Because I don't know. I honestly don't know what port, because that's CAN 1 and that's CAN 1. So I'm a bit confused here. And then you've got the Power A port, which is power analog. So that is the traditional analog power module. Again, if you're not using it, you can't use it for anything else. And Power C, and that is a dedicated CAN bus port for power. So even though, we've replaced those power ports, we're no better off. There's no benefit here for the CAN bus other than swapping it over to CAN for the sake of it being CAN. The port isn't recoverable for any other use. You're not able to use it for anything else. So in the end, my mistake was I read it as CAN power port A and power port B, and I didn't click why it was C. It's power analog, power CAN. So I was in power A and I should have been in power C. The second I put it in power C, it all worked straight away. Absolutely fine, working as it should do. But my point with this little rant that I've got around to now here is, what is the benefit of having a UAV CAN power module? Because you can't use the devices for anything else. They're still using a dedicated CAN bus port, which is a different connector to the normal CAN bus port. It's not the same type of connector. So even if you're not using a power module, you can't use it for anything else. I just don't understand it. I just don't quite get it. Now, what they say on the autopilot spec is 2 CAN bus ports. So those 2 CAN bus ports are these two here. So we've got CAN 1, we've got 2 CAN 1 ports, which makes no sense, and a CAN power port. But the reality was I had it in the wrong connection. That's the basics of this. But with regards to the CAN power module, I'm really struggling on why at the moment. Why? When it's having to have a dedicated port. Now, what I don't know at this moment in time is if it can be piggybacked onto a normal CAN bus and used that way. As far as I'm aware, it can't, but I haven't tried it. CUAV, the only company to make a CAN module at the moment. Let me just find it. Battery monitor. This is the CAN-based one. Actually, you can't click on that. Just go on CUAV, telemetry, software. There's a CUAV CAN module, CUAV CAN power module. Let me just find it. There it is. They call it the CAN PMU, which is a dedicated one. And again, it's got a different connection, but it does have the tradition. You've got 2 grounds, SDA, SCL. Well, that's SDA and SCL. That's not CAN. Protocol UAV CAN. It's not CAN high and low, is it? Connect to flight controller. UAV CAN communications port. Factory debug port. So what are they saying here? UAV CAN to CAN 1 and 2. And so on that one, you're using both connections, old and new. That just don't make sense to me. That just don't make sense. Oh yeah, because it's providing the module power yet, but still. I can't PMU manual. I still don't fully get what we're getting with this one. I understand it with servos and things, don't get me wrong. But I still don't fully get what we're gaining here. I really don't. Anyway, that's my rant on CAN. That's where we ended up on that. Yeah, pretty much it on that. So that's what happened with that one. I'm just going to grab a drink. Okay, 2 more things to talk about. Unless you guys have any questions, please do put them in the comments. Next thing, moving some stuff, is this. If you watched on the live stream the other day, and before I move on, tell me what you think about this CAN thing. Is it just me being mad? I just don't get, because it's still in my head, I just don't get what the benefit is. Is it changing it for the sake of it? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. The Xbox 360. Where's the SoC? I took it off. Where'd it go? I've lost it. No, I haven't. It's in front of me. Now, for those of you who are watching the live streams I did last week, my kid's Xbox 360 decided to start doing... This is an Xbox 360 Slim, by the way. 4GB model. pardon me, and it started doing the equivalent of the red ring of death. Big A enjoyed the caps going bang. If you didn't see, I cooked it a little bit. Too much in the end. We got the we took it off, which is that, you know, okay, that's okay, you know, we had there was a row of caps along here. There's 2 back on actually for testing. But there was a row of caps along here, of which a couple went bang. There was some resistors along here which we had to remove. I wanted to try, but in the end, we removed the SoC because I tried doing the usual heating up and cooling and it hadn't worked. Now, I think this has a problem based on looking at it at the bottom, but I think I might have caused that by overheating. I've cleaned everything up now, as you can see. And if you remember, I couldn't get it to do anything but a solid red light. Originally, it was a flashing red light. But now it was a solid one. Now, I've actually done some tests this week because all this has been cleaned up nice and tidy, and I've put some solder onto the balls of this. They're not balls, but I've got some solder on. And I've actually found, by holding it in place and putting a lot of pressure on, I can actually get it back to do the flashing red light again, which is quite good. However, having done a little bit of investigation this week, the issue may not have been the SoC. Sorry, my other laptop just fell over under my foot. It might have been some resistors. Now, it's a bit late to know this now because we're a bit further down the line. However, my understanding is that there's a common issue on this one, if I just bring this up, of some resistors being a problem, and you need to either short or replace R4, D3, R4, D4, D5, D6, D7, and D8. Now, I did chuckle at this post because I've come across this and someone's been trying to do it. And the poor bugger has had a bit of trouble. Let's be honest. He's lifted a couple of tracks whilst trying to do it. And his question is about what he can do to fix it. But the reality is this is a known issue. Now, I need to have a look at where these are on mine, actually. Let's just have a look. So what we've got in this reference image is there's a crystal there. So where the bloody hell is the crystal? Okay, I found the crystal. Okay, so the crystal on this is there. Oh, I've got it. Okay. Okay, have I got him? Yeah, I got him. I found him. Okay, so we're talking. I'm fully in. I'm not in. I'm not in thing, but it's these here. RD3, 4, 5. It's those ones down there. It would have been, and the idea is that you either replace them or you short them. So you remove them and short them out. And they're on tracks. You can see them going down to the SoC. So I don't know where to go with this now. I'll be honest. Put myself back up. It needs a bit of work. I think we would all agree. We've heated him heavily. So what I don't know is if I've got a short on the BGA over here at all. Obviously the SoC would need reballing and refitting. I'm tempted to attempt it just to try it. I've never done it before. The stencil is about $10. It's not terrible, and a pack of balls. It's good for a surprise. Give it a try. So the stencil, the work it needs is these caps replacing, but these are easy. I can order these. These are nothing, We removed all of those caps there as well. I think they're caps, were they? Yeah, they're caps. But they're switching capacitors. They're replaceable. I can put anything on them. Then I'm not particularly worried about them. They're standard switching capacitors for chipsets. It's fine. One careful owner. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what to do. You know, other than that, it's fine. Yes, Bruce, it looks like there's a bit of flux on it. It needs a clean up at the moment, Bruce. That's why, because there's plenty of flux on it. But other than that, it's fine. It's fine. Although the RAM, these have had some heat as well. It's a shame I didn't come across this. I remember when you said condensers and that. Yeah, caps. It's a shame I didn't come across that post. I did do some digging and I didn't find that first. I should have done a bit more digging. Look, these aren't expensive things to replace. I can get them on eBay right now for like 20 quid. This is the problem. The cost of the stencil is almost the cost of a replacement board. You know, Xbox 360 Slim. If I look online, 27 quid. 22 quid. Make an offer. Does this one even work? Slim console only. Used but fully working order. The only problem you've got is are you going to get another one? So, you know, problem is you don't know if they've been banned off Xbox Live either. So, you know, they're not expensive. They're not expensive. So its question is it worth... You might be flogging a dead horse. Yeah. I'm tempted to do it just to try more than anything. I might do it just to try. Reballing is... I just want to make sure this SoC hasn't overcooked, though. That's the problem. But if I did put it back on, I'd do it in the oven. Leave the caps off and then do it in the oven. Yeah, really, you know, that's where I'm at with it. I did miss that issue, but you know, it's going to become a component board at this point. It really is. It's going to end up being for components. It's annoying these things fail, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, that's it on the Xbox. Now, there's one last thing I just want to talk to you guys about. One of the projects I'm working on over winter as well. Now, I will say if there's anything on that you want to know, please do let me know. As I said, it's something I might put a bit of time into, but again, it's time and the stencil and balling that. But who knows? You know, unless you try, you don't know, do you? You know, one careful owner, that's for sure. One careful owner. I'd rather, if I could get a replacement SoC. I'm a little unhappy with the bottom of this one. I showed the guys on the live stream, but there's some issue. There's some strange lumps there. You can see it. See it there. There's a lump in the bottom. And there was an area where I thought it looked like there was a pin missing. I can't remember. Is it this down here? There was one where I thought, is the pad missing as well? But it looks like they're all soldered now. So, yeah, we're going to have to see. But and remember, I delidded this as well, so it would actually have to be relidded again too. That's the actual chiplet. That's the actual unit there, because we did delid him as part of the process as well. Yeah, that's an option. Is get a dead one off eBay. Yeah, I didn't look at... See, did I see any not working? Xbox 360 Slim faulty. See what comes up under that. Faulty Red Ring Avengers sticker. Ooh, £25. So much cheaper to do that, isn't it? What's this one say? So, buy it now, £25. Faulty Red Ring. Has a red ring instead of green. My only concern is anyone bloody tried doing a repair on it? That would be my only concern. Has this person tried to fix it themselves? That's what my concern is. I want one that hasn't had what I've done to it. This person's got very good feedback. See, this is where it gets dodgy. See, right. This is where you've got to be careful when you look for someone. So we're looking at this. Let me bring it up. You guys can see. Okay, so this person's selling. Okay. And now we start looking at items for sale. More than one. So is this someone who is trying to repair them themselves and failing? Well, they're not selling many of them. But let's just have a look. Video game consoles. Ah, here we go, look. See, look at this. See, they got multiples. That's sus. That must be outside the UK as well, that one. So that one's a no, because it sounds like someone's had a mess with it. Parts only. What's this one here? Console power energy when powered on, the disc tray constantly ejects, cannot be used. When powered on, the disc tray constantly ejects. That's an interesting fault. It's not so bad. Might be able to do something with that one. 4 gig faulty. Ooh, what's this one? This could be up my street. Freezes whilst being used. Now, that one probably needs a BGA repair as well, because that's quite common. And it's overheating. Usually causes it, and it causes the board to move. That could be a repairable. There's another one, slim. Let's have a look what this one says. That's not in English. Someone's saying tested and working. 27 quid, tested and working. 2 available. Huh? Makes me wonder if they're banned, but I might. It's not worth it, is it? 27 quid. I may as well just order one of them. I may as well just do that. Just catch up on the comments. The only failure is to have never tried. Yes, I agree. Hello, Rokel. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I spoke a bit about it at the start. I haven't banged on about it in this one. I'm actually going to do a second video. I want to talk about some stuff that I've noticed at one UK dealer, which I want to talk about, but also the scalping as well. I'm going to put a video out on that. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, if I compare it to launches on many things for many companies, it was handled terribly. Absolutely terribly. Terribly. Experienced. I see they learned nothing about treating customers right. UK, somehow 3080 FE. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Pre-scalping cards, and then yeah, you've noticed it. I think a few of us have noticed it as well. Yeah, some interesting things on their pricing, but there's something new. If you follow me on Twitter, I've put a post out tonight, and the new thing that I've spotted is that these dealers are now taking prices offline for cards to pre-order. So some of the pre-order ones have prices and many of them don't. So now you can't price match to see what it's actually going to cost. And some of them want you to... some of them... well done, Bruce. Take it easy. Some of them appear to want you to pre-order without knowing how much it's going to cost you, which I found interesting as well. But welcome to the live stream. Nice to see someone off that video. Now, you might find these live streams a bit eclectic. We've talked a bit about the 3080, 3070 thing at the start. I didn't bang on about it. I do a lot about drones. I do a lot about tech as well. But it's great to have you here, mate. Any questions, put them in there. But it is a mess. It is a mess. Now, the last thing I've got set in my diary to talk about is what this box is all about. And this is an order from lcsc.com. Just to show you guys quickly. Ooh, that's in a bit close. Let's get that out a bit, shall we? Oh, there you go. And I'm not going to totally unwrap this, but it's components. I just want to cover this a second because it's got my address on it. But look, it's resistors, capacitors. Let me put that there. Not for the Xbox. We've got packs of caps, which are, what are these? Panasonics, these should be. These are radios, 220 UFs, 50 volters. Nice big ones. We've got Scotchy diodes. Let me show you guys these, getting a bit closer. Scotchies in there, some nice big Scotchy diodes. Ooh, look at them. See if anyone can guess what I'm making. Unless I've already told you, we've got, oh Christ, they're small. They're caps. What are these? These are 270 NFs, 25 volters. God, they're small. We're gonna be having fun fitting them, guys. What are they? They're 0603s, aren't they? Yeah. We've got more 0603s, which are resistors, 5K, 5.6K. We've got, oh, we'll look at them in a minute. They're heavy, but they're expensive as well. We've got, what's this one? I ordered this lot, so I should know. Capacitors, switching diodes in this one. Get that one out. Let's have a look. Oh, they're smaller than I realised. Switching diodes. And these are, what are these? What size are they? 402s. Okay, let's have a look. We've then got more. We've got more 5K resistors, which are, again, chip resistors, which are ridiculously small. We're going to have some fun, guys. We really are. More resistors. Tantalum capacitors. Some tantalums. Look at them. Oh, they'll go down in a month or two. Some tantalums in there. More resistors, more capacitors. Some of these are in larger quantities than I needed. And then this one, which is power inductor. Look at them. We like them. Oh, some weight on them as well. So, we've got a bunch of components. And I'm in the middle of starting a project. And I'm going to share with you on the screen a little bit about it, which is part one of this project. So let me bring that up. Let me put myself in the corner. And let me just bring the components up. Flux capacitor. And part of this project is the beginning of a power module, and it's a power module to supply 5 volts, but it's a dual power module of a design which I've it's loosely based off the hybrid power module from Mac Electronics, who make the stuff for the Cube. It's not a rip-off of their design. I haven't seen their design. What they did with a hybrid module, I've designed my own based on the reference designs and the specs for the Cube. And I'll take you through that now. And the idea is of a hybrid power module. It contains both a switching mode module as well as a traditional analog source, or not analog, but a what's the term I'm looking for? A traditional voltage regulator. A normal voltage regulator works by bleeding off the voltage you don't need and the current you don't need in heat. That's how a normal voltage regulator works. So if you remember, everything you used to have had big power supplies, massive power bricks. And the reason was there was a massive transformer in there to bring the voltage down to something reasonable. So say it was a 12 volt one, for instance. It would have a transformer in there that brought the voltage down to, say, 15 volt. And then you had a traditional voltage regulator, which would bring it to 12 volt. But the way it did that was by bleeding the excessive voltage off as heat. So those devices used to get very hot. Now, we've all moved into the world where we have switching regulators now, and the way the switching regulators work is they just turn on and off very fast. And actually, the video that's going out on the channel on Tuesday shows the differential probe looks at a switch mode power supply doing that. So it just turns it on and off very, very fast. On, off, on, off, on, off. Now, there are upsides and downsides to both. The downsides to a traditional voltage regulator is you have to deal with that heat. It has to go somewhere. So the closer you get to the output voltage with the transformer, for instance, the less heat it has to produce because the less voltage difference it has to do. However, when it comes to doing DC to DC, so when we're building a power module for an autopilot, we need an input range of, say, 3S, 12 volts, to 6S, 28, 26. So if you were using just an analog source, at 26 volt, it's going to be producing tons of heat compared to what it's going to produce at, say, 12 volts for 5 volt output. Now, this is where you would go, right, we need a switching regulator, or a BEC, as they're traditionally known, BCs. Let me just go full screen when I talk about this. But the downsides to the BEC, linear, that was the word. I couldn't think of the word, big A. Linear. But the benefits of a switching regulator is you don't have all that heat to deal with. What you're doing is switching it on and off, so the losses are massively different. The thing to take into account with a linear regulator, couldn't get that word in my head, is you're drawing, it's using that power. They're extremely wasteful because it's bleeding that power off as heat, but it's still using that current. Whereas a switching regulator turns on and off, on and off. However, the downside to a switching regulator is they produce lots of noise in the power circuit, and you have to filter all of that noise out. And if you've got lots of space, it's fairly easy to do. You know, lots of big capacitors, inductors, filter circuit, you can do it all that way. But when we're talking about a small device, things get a little bit more difficult. And whilst most BECs are okay, for a really good power source, you want it as clean as possible. And this is where a hybrid regulator comes in. Now, the first one of these I did see was from Christian Munch. He has one. It's available to buy. Check it out. It's well worth looking at. And the idea is you combine both regulators. You use the switching regulator to produce the biggest drop in voltage. So from, say, let's just say the output's 5 volt, from 26 down to, say, 7 volt. Even 6 volt, let's just say. And then you use the linear regulator to go from 6 to 5. The linear regulator in itself filters out a lot of the switching noise from the switching regulator. It's just the nature of it. So you then have this hybrid regulator. You use the switch mode element to drop the voltage to near enough where you want it, and then you use the linear regulator to bring it to the final value, but then remove all of the noise from the circuit as well. Now, the reason you won't get all of the heat from these devices, because it is still using a linear, because you're only dropping that last 1 or 2 volts with the linear regulator. It only needs to bleed off a very small amount of current and voltage, or current, as part of the regulation circuit. The bulk of it is handled by the switch mode element. And that is what this is. And this is going to be part of something bigger. But the first thing I've done is design the regulator separately, the circuit, because I want to build it and I want to test it. So just to show you guys this is the first time I'm showing this. But this is the test circuit that I have built, which is for both regulators. Now, it isn't a fully laid out version. There is actually a second version of this, which I've been working on, which is fully laid out. And part of this layout is very important for the switching interference element, because you can get resonance in a switching power supply. So you have to lay out part of the circuit in a certain way that you cause earth loops in a certain place in the regulator. This circuit basically does it, but not as well as this one. So this is part 2 revision of how it will look on the actual board it will be going on to. But this is the overall test circuit that I have built, which consists of our voltage input, which is highly filtered. It then goes into our switching regulator circuit, which is over this side here. It then goes over to our linear regulator circuit, which is over here, and it is going out. And then just to show you the 3D view, it looks something along the lines of this. And this is going to be the regulator device itself. Now, at the end of the day, it's just a power module. It's nothing particularly special. There are some very specific components with the Schottky diode and the tantalum capacitor, which are requirements of it. And then you've got these 3 bulk capacitors. But that is the idea of the circuit. And this is going to be a version 1 of the circuit. And as you can see, as part of the design, I'm putting a lot of cooling for, let's go over to it. You can see that we've put in lots of vias for the cooling to be able to, let me just, so you can view the bottom layer. There's some circuit on the bottom as well. You can see that's the bottom layer. There's 1 or 2 tracks on the bottom, but not many. But you can see there's vias under the main regulators as part of their circuit. There's some specific earth and ground looping over this area here to ensure that things are doing what we expect them to do as well. Now, I have ordered 10 of these boards from JLB PCB. They're ordered, they're done. Let me just, how do we go? File, advanced, I can't remember if we can do it from this. File, I'm on the website version here, you see. So this isn't, if I go into JLB, will it, I can't remember if I did it on this laptop or not. No, I didn't do it. Did I do it on this? No, I must have been on my Mac mode, because this is my Mac. Let me sign in to JLB PCB. 2 seconds. Let me just bring that off while I sign in a second. Ah, right. Okay. I mean, yeah, it might have been on this I did it. Okay, let me just have a look. File manager. Oh, am I on it now? Oh, wrong screen. Just to show you guys, here we go. So you can see this is the, which one of these was the one I ordered. There was a few changes to the design, so that's why it's on there a few times. So it was the 25th of the 10th. Yeah, so this was the final version of the PCB. Oh god. No. So you can see that there. So that's the final version of the circuit. So I've ordered a number of these from JLB PCB, waiting for them to come in. They should be here probably this week. They have shipped. So that's the overall design of the circuit, and the idea of this, as I've said, is going to be for a bigger project, which I intend to hopefully get done this winter, which will involve more videos, more board design, and I'll talk about that as I get to it. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is build up one of these first, because I can do this manually. These are going to have to be hand built. There's no pick and place machine here for these, that's for sure. So I've got to build these up, get it built up and tested. I'll get one done first. The regulators are not cheap. Just to give you an idea of the design, so let me just bring it back up. I'll show you what I'm actually using. We're using the LT1764, which is the analog regulator, 64A, and we're using the LT1734 on the switching side. And this is the overall circuit. So you've got your switching circuit on this side here, and then your analog circuit over this side here. Again, nothing particularly special on this thing, but it's the initial trial of how it's going to work, and then I got to make sure it does what I expect it to do. And the way I've set this circuit up is there should be about 6.8 to 7 volts out of the switching regulator, and then the rest of that will be handled by the analog regulator. And what I'll then do is test to see what the voltages are like, make sure I get it where I expect it to be. You can't have a tunable regulator in a drone, so it can't have pots in it or anything like that. It's very dangerous. It is going to be 5 volts, so it's designed to power an autopilot, but it's going to be part of a bigger circuit. And then there's going to be 12-volt versions as well, which will be fairly straightforward, but the 12-volt versions will not be dual regulators. They will be singles. And there will be, the idea of this circuit, there will be 2 of these on the circuit. So 2 of the hybrid regulators and 3 of them on the circuit, 3 regulators at 4 amp each, independent, and then 1 12-volt regulator. That's what the plan is for it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's all of the exciting stuff from LCSC. The regulators are on their way. That was quite an expensive part of it. I think I've ordered 2 of each or 3 of each, because they're like £6 or £7 a pop. So each of these is gonna, I think each board is heading around one of them is 12 quid and one of them is 7 quid. So each of these boards is heading around £20 each. £25 each to manufacture. That's without labor. That's component cost, board, regulators. So, if you were flogging these out, they're going to be 50-60 quid, which is a custom design unit, so that's what it would cost. But yeah, we're going to see. So Rebo, it's an IR toaster. Yes, it is. It's an IR. It's an infrared toaster which will irradiate you. Mark, I like the 3DXR regulators, 5 volt. Yeah, the 3DXR ones were pretty good. Rebo, does the same board as the first X360? No, it's a different board, and there seems to be about 3 or 4 different versions of the Slim as well. There's about 3 or 4 versions of this as well. So I'll be honest, I think this one is beyond repair. I know my limits, and large BGA is one of them. Probably. Don't get me wrong. If you've got the gear, anything is possible. Never forget that. If you've got the gear, anything is possible. But by the time I stencil it, oven it, and put it back, there's at least £20 worth of components on this, and I may as well pick up another board. eBay I'm tempted on. eBay I'm tempted on. £27, 4 gig tested and working. It's just not worth messing around with, is it? 27 quid. There's not many faulty ones. Plenty of console only, surprisingly. If we look down, plenty of console only, isn't there? It's cheap. No hard drive. I got a hard drive. Looks in a bit of a state. Look at that thing. Only problem is, do I really want that in my kid's bedroom when it's been in someone else's, if you know what I mean? I'm a bit picky on stuff like that. I don't mind immaculate stuff, but, you know, look at some of this stuff. Jesus Christ. You would at least wipe it down, wouldn't you, before listing it? But I suppose the problem is, it's when it's this cheap, who's going to put a cloth over it? See, that's not bad. 40 quid. Is that a working one? What's this one? What's this one? You are only bidding as a console. The console is in full working order and comes with a 250 gig hard drive. No issues at all. A console that we can't use. So this is being sold as a working replacement and memory unit. That's probably the smart money. That one is, if it is what they say it is. But you always have to look a bit deeper in these places. What are they selling? They got a shop. See, skis. All I'm ever looking for is a genuine person. And look, let's have a look. Xbox 360. Is that really just a family? Could be though, couldn't it? Just selling all bits of it. No, see, there's another one there. They got 2 consoles. See, what, you can never trust anything you read on bloody eBay anymore. No box console, 10 games working order. I don't know, it could be legit, but, you know, to me, you see these things and it's just, hold on a minute, really? I don't know. It seems sus to me. You give me your compounds. But it does, you know, you do look at the state of some of these, don't you? And you think, really, no cloth, nothing to wipe them over. That one looks a bit better. No, it doesn't. The problem is my kids have got quite a few games from. And my boy's only young. My boy is, you know, he's not old. It's just, you know, he's not 14. He's only 6. So the 360 was just nice because we've got a couple of games. We've got like Jurassic Park and stuff, and it was nice for him to be able to play on. So it'd be handy to be able to replace it again. Slim black console. That's a lot of console onlys in there, which worries me because it makes me wonder how many of these are faulty and people selling them. Won't he stick it in place and clean? Ideal replacement. No power display or games. You'll receive what is pictured. A little bit sus. Refurbished. Like I trust that. It's Xbox One in it. No, 360 Slim. So we're gonna have to see. We're going to have to see. I have private over PayPal fixed price only bid. Yeah, this is the problem with eBay. This is the real problem with eBay. You just can't trust it. Any close to me? It's not my postcode in there, but it's picked up at like a local area. 165 miles. It's the closest. No, so there's no close ones. No, so it's not looking good, is it? Let's be honest. Can you buy the 360 new now? Is it still available new? Do you know what? I don't know. Let's you go to someone like Music Magpie or one of them, because at least then you get a warranty with some of them, don't you? Amazon. See, let's have a look. I just brought Amazon up. Yeah, any on Amazon? The problem with this damn console is it's just so bloody unreliable. CX. Oh yeah, sex. That's a pro. That's a point. Yeah, that bloody company. Our stores in Wales are closed. And game. What about game? Let's just have a look on CX quickly. Xbox 360. You're going to pay more through one of these sites. That's for sure. Consoles. How do we? Does their web stores browse category? So Xbox 360 consoles. Okay. We sell for £60. We buy for £28. That's quite good, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, wrong one. Look at that. 24-month warranty. You can't worry about that, can you? An original Xbox? Oh, is that original or is that slim? That looks like a slim. It's the Xbox E. So right there, what we got here? Sort by, price low to high on CX. Available online. Okay, so Xbox with HDMI with wired pad. That's the original one. Problem is my power adapter won't fit that now. Oh, actually, does that include a power adapter? Xbox 360 Slim, no hard disk, discounted, 45 quid, 24-month warranty. You can't go wrong on that. Look at that. There we go. I want to buy this item. They sell online then. So I want to buy this item. Yeah, look at that. 45 quid. 360S Slim. No hard drive. I've got a hard drive. I've got a hard drive behind me. Discounted. Grading guide. So what's the grading guide? Yeah, it's not worth it, is it? I may as well just order one of them, and because what they give 24 months warranty. How does that work? That's if they're still here in 24 months. Game UK probably won't be. For those who follow Game, we all know what Game are like. Pre-owned. What a Game charging for 360s, so they're not even selling them. Look. No, it's a CS. No. Okay, guys. Let me just catch back up. Oh yes, CX. Good choice, Roblo. Good point. I forgot about that. That's a good choice. 40 quid. It's not worth me messing about with that. I'll part it out on the channel. I'm not going to sell any of it. There's no point. If I get the stencil, I might. Let's see what happens. Am I in Wales? I am. Rocker, I am in Wales. I'm in South Wales. So whereabouts are you in Wales then? You can. Whereabouts are you? I am in Pembrokeshire. I am in Pems, and hence the mad accent. Yeah, if we were allowed outside, it would be Gumtree or something. Yeah, it's just you look at some of these ones on eBay, don't you? Look, I'm not being funny. Before I sell anything, it gets desanitized. I've always done this. This is never, not since COVID. It's always had a complete wipe down, a complete brush down, hoover out. You know, Conway, very nice. Complete clean out. You know, you're giving someone something that looks tidy. Some of that stuff you see, you just think, wow, really? Okay, the two things, actually, I'll quickly mention at the end because we've been going nearly 2 hours. The Mavic Mini 2. I don't know anything about it. The reality is this. It's available to buy in certain Best Buy stores in the US. It shouldn't be, as far as I understand it. It has ended up on the shelf when it shouldn't have. We think it's going to be £500, $500. It's going to have OcuSync 2, which means it's going to be capable of up to 7 kilometers range, plus 7 to 10 Ks. We think £400 to £500. That's what we think. Fourth, we believe the 4th. It'll be a Tuesday or Wednesday. So the 1st today, 2nd tomorrow, Monday, 3rd, Tuesday, 4th, Wednesday. It's always a Wednesday or Tuesday with DJI. It always is. We did start early today. We started at the new time in the UK. We started today. We did start today. There are whispers of a new set of goggles from the DJI FPV system. I have no information. I wish I did, but I don't. I honestly don't know. If I did know, I'd be under NDA and I wouldn't be even able to say what I've just said. So hand on heart, I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm going to be putting out another video on the RTX stuff in the middle of the week, just to talk about a bit about the UK stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff trending. Now, I do know in the past I haven't spoken about a lot of computer stuff on this channel. And I'll just explain something before I finish, because you guys might not know this. I ran an IT business for over 8 years. It was my own business. I built PCs. I sold them. I've built PCs since I was 15. I've done it virtually continually since. I've been heavily involved in gaming over the years, on and off. I took about 4 or 5 years out from PC side of things, and I've just got back into it again. So I had, I've been heavily involved. I owned an IT business in a high street, in a shop. I ran it for a number of years. We built PCs for a living. It was me and one other person, small business. I was one of the proprietors, as was he. So I've always done a lot of PC stuff. I find it really interesting because I went away and missed probably the most explosive part of the PC industry in recent years. And, I stopped working in it in 2011. That was when I stopped actually working. It was part of my day job when I moved away and into a separate job completely. I stopped completely in 2011. I stopped building in about 2009. Before that, I was building every day of the week. But between 2009 and 2011, I was involved in the computer industry, but not heavily. But I've always done a huge amount of it. I said I had a high street retail shop doing it. And there's one YouTube channel I really like. Let me just find him. I want to show it because I really like it because he reminds me of what I had. I'd love to do a collab with this guy on the channel. I really would. Let me just find his channel. I subscribe to him, so I just got to try and find it. Oh God, I'm on the wrong one. I'm on the wrong YouTube account, which don't help neither, does it? PC board repair UK. Let me just find this. Here he is. It's Adam IT, right? Adam Ant IT. He's got a great YouTube channel. He's got a small, it's not a small YouTube channel by any means. It's, he's got 78,000 subscribers. But he looks like he's got a small computer shop. This is what I loved. I was doing this in 2000s, 90s and 2000s for a living. And I missed the explosion of YouTube and putting this stuff online, what you were doing then. This would have been me if I had stayed in the IT industry. We would have been doing this stuff. absolutely 100% I'd have been doing this stuff. You know, I look at Linus and all of those guys and what they've done, and it's fantastic. Okay, look, I'm a bit older than these guys, so I would have been doing it, to say the least. I was doing it long before them. But, you know, I love this guy's channel. He puts some fantastic videos out there on repairing PCs. If you are not a subscriber, check it out. It's just enjoyable to watch for me, board repair, stuff like that. But I did have a computer shop for a long period of time, so I am going to start posting a bit more computer-related content again, because I've been involved in it for years, and, you know, that is my background. It's where my expertise was for a very long time. I'm an electromechanical engineer by trade, but, you know, I was in the in the PC industry. That's what I did, so I would like to get back into posting some of the stuff on that. Wolf, new DJI goggles, not FPV system. I don't know. The talk is goggles, but I don't know. It's all could be nonsense and hearsay. I know nothing for sure. I would not be shocked if DJI replaced the goggles with a new set. Oh, I don't mean replace. Brought out a new set of goggles that work on the same system alongside the existing ones as a higher end model, and then reduce the cost of the current goggles. You'd see the current ones come down by $200, and then there'd be an all new version, maybe with smaller overall design, OLED screens, built-in analog, or they will never do analog. Perhaps they'll let it go and they will never do it at all, because at the end of the day, digital is the future. But I do think we could see smaller OLED, improved, higher end, which coming at a probably £100 to dollars price increase over what we have today, and maybe 150, and then the other ones come down in price, and then a newer unit, smaller, lighter. I think that's going to happen as well, but all part of the same ecosystem. But I just don't know. I'm not aware of anything. No one's told me anything. It could all be bullshit right now. We've just got to wait and see. As for the Mavic Mini, I believe it's Wednesday. It's always a Wednesday with DJI. Always. No, because it's OcuSync 2, unfortunately. Yeah, and look, the RE system didn't work particularly well with the Mavic 2 Pro either. It wasn't great. Range was terrible on it, and you had all sorts of problems. The RE, I would say, are end of life now, sadly. But no. Anyway, guys, and if there's any more questions, I'm going to finish a drink before I finish. It was great to see so many on the stream tonight. I say so many. We've got 15, which is good for our stream, so thank you all for spending some time with me. This week, am I going to do a random live stream in the week? Let me think. I might see if I can get one in. I'm going to try and do a random one in the middle. Please do share the channel with anyone out there. I'm trying to get this channel built up. It's new. We've only just started doing the lives on the Sunday and everything. I've taken it away from the main channel. I definitely think it's better with YouTube, with it on a separate channel. I certainly, you know, I would get more views if I did the lives on the main channels. Not on Tuesday, Lord. Yeah, I'll go live on the same time as Gary. We'll both go live together. That'll be quite funny. I could live stream me being on his live stream, so we could do a fourth wall break. We could do it with the fourth wall break, which would be quite funny. If you guys get what I mean on that one, if you're a Deadpool fan, as I obviously am. Not at all. A live stream of a live stream with the fourth wall break, where every now and again you would just turn to the camera and say something, or, you know, it would be a bit boring at times, but it would be quite funny. That would be good. Do a random one once. Yeah, Wednesday, probably. DJI, they always release products on a Wednesday. My Ronin stuff will be here. You comment on the live stream, yeah. You just look every now and again. You just look across and go, "What's he talking about?" Yeah, I probably am going to do a live on the main channel, because I'm not going to stop doing lives completely. I think part of me is tempted to do like a monthly live on the main channel on a Friday, and do a monthly catch-up, to try and help drive some people over to the weekly live over here. I think the problem with YouTube is doing too many lives on the main channel. It causes issues. I noticed it when I started going weekly on the main channel, when I was posting my content, which isn't very good, we all know that. But when I was posting the content, it wasn't behaving the same. And I've now seen that reverse since moving the live stream. So I think a monthly live stream is probably a good idea on the main channel. It's something I want to start looking at. And then we keep the Sunday nights on this. And maybe do a monthly. Ideally, I should have done it last Friday. But maybe if I do... What if I might do a live on the main channel on Wednesday? I got a video going up Tuesday, but I could delay that. Unless I do a live Friday night. But Wednesday's probably going to be the biggest hit. Okay, I'll do it when this thing launches. I think we all think it's Wednesday. That's what everyone... No one's told us anything. No, normally, I used to get notifications of stuff coming, but nothing now. So, yeah, I might do that. Anyway, guys, we're going to call it a night. Please stay safe wherever you are in the world. Please look after yourselves. If you're in Wales, we've got another week of lockdown. Behave. No running around. If you're in England, welcome to the world we've been in for the last week. However, enjoy it for the next month. Wherever you're in the world, please stay safe. Please look after yourselves, your family, your friends. We will be live again next Sunday night on this channel doing something. Haven't thought of content yet. Obviously, because I don't have content anyway. I will go live on the main channel this week. We'll do a live on the main channel for the release. We'll do a live channel for the release. And I can push some stuff over that. It's been fantastic. It's been a pleasure spending some time with you guys. Stay safe. Take it easy. And I'm going to go find and hit that button. I've hit it once. Hit it twice.